going to come out with like double guns and just like destroy Rich. Not that I wanted it to happen. I was just there for the drama, knowing everything that goes on, especially in that very first minute or two at the start of the show after a huge Michigan or Ohio State game or whatever, something in the Big Ten.
Well, you also know too, Andrew, is that we've got a 4-hour show.
Yes.
So if Rich comes out of the blocks and is not feeling it in the first 5 minutes, that can make for a long show, a rough show. So that might be part of the reason why we just kind of, he knows, everybody knows, and we'll just kind of leave it at that.
And yes, I do understand that. And by the way, I am not in any way suggesting that Rich deserved it. You know me. I was just looking for the entertainment value here. And I do, by the way, Rich, I appreciate every time you have me in on the appropriately named and now distributed by ESPN. Fantastic. Rich Eisen show. Love being there. All right. Let's get to Shedeur. I think, Kurt, like the big thing for me, the stats are the stats, obviously, but a lot of it passed the eye test. And I think Kevin Stefanski said the most important thing out loud today is that he's gotten better every single game. And I know they lost, and there's a lot to nitpick, but what did you think of the way Shedeur played against the Titans Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, first, getting better. Second, I think they're allowing him to do a little bit more each game as well. You know, I thought the first couple games, they didn't really let him do all that much. But each game he's made some plays, and he's made some big time throws, and some throws that you look and you say, those are NFL throws. Those are NFL plays that he's making. As with any rookie, not a finished product yet. There's things you want to see get better, but I think he's shown enough, and he's earned the right to say, show us if you can be an NFL quarterback. Show us, and not an NFL quarterback, because I think he's shown us that he can play at this level. Show us that you can be a starting NFL quarterback and lead a franchise. And so that, to me, if you've started a few games, that's what the statement you want to make. I mean, I remember when I started back in '99. That was what I wanted to do too. Is each game say, okay, I deserve a shot at this. Like, not that I'm there yet, or not that I'm that guy, but I deserve a shot at this. And that, to me, is what Shedeur has shown in these 3 games, and maybe more so than any yesterday. I thought he made a number of really good plays. He showed the accuracy that he had in college, the touch on the football. He throws a very catchable ball. And he's shown that he can make some of those big time throws. I know a lot of people came in and said, he doesn't have the strongest, whatever. I mean, I didn't have the strongest arm either. You got to be able to make the throws you're supposed to make. And he's shown us that he can make those throws. And so all of that stuff, and I think Coach came out and said, he's going to be the starter the rest of the year. I think that's what it's proven to us. These first 3 games has proven that he deserves this shot to show Cleveland or anybody else around the league that he belongs in this role.
Kurt, from a coaching standpoint, if you're getting drilled on footwork, right, whether it's subtle pocket movement or when you're outside of the pocket, remembering reset your feet, right? Like, get your mechanics straight before you let that ball out. And obviously that's a little more difficult on the run when you're getting chased here. How difficult is it to take the stuff from practice and actually put it into a game? Like baseball, football, a lot of the stuff, hey, I drill it. But then when I'm out there, my instincts take over, and sometimes my mechanics break down. Yeah. Seemingly for Shedeur, a lot of the little mechanical things that I know they're working with him on have, for the most part, seen improvement on game day.
Yeah. I mean, it's creating a new normal. It doesn't matter, how many times we practice something. If it's not our normal, when you're not focused solely on that, you're going to go back to your normal. So when you're worried about what an NFL defense is doing, or you're worried about, somebody chasing at Jeffrey Simmons, chasing after you, in a game, you're just going to revert back to what has become your normal. And that's why, you can stay up on technique stuff, and you can fine tune it, and you can work on it. But if it's not your normal, it really comes down to what you got to do in the off season, right? Is you got to create that new normal for yourself. And so, I mean, with Shedeur, you go back to Colorado, and he's got a tendency at times to kind of float in the pocket, to not get set and stick that back foot in the ground. But when he does those things, he's extremely accurate. And I think a lot of that can also come down to, Andrew, being comfortable with the plays that you're running, and what you're expecting from those plays and the timing of those plays. You know, one thing that I've seen with Shedeur is there's times where guys come open early in the on schedule of the play, and he's not quite ready to make the throw. He's not quite set yet, or it's almost as if he doesn't think it's going to come open. And so, you know, he's kind of playing for what's coming next, and then boom, all of a sudden something pops open. And so that usually tells me that he's not fully comfortable with that play or what he's seeing. And I think those are all things that as you play more, as you get more comfortable, as you fine tune an offense, maybe even more to what Shedeur likes or what he's really comfortable with, that you hope those things and he'll settle into those things, because when he looks confident and when he looks comfortable with what he's doing, like I said, he's been making a lot of throws and a lot of plays and down the field, and the throws that you saw him make in college that led him to this point.
I'm talking to Hall of Famer Kurt Warner here, and I think it's really the processing. It's not like, oh, I don't know the play. It's like, all right, well, how quickly, Kurt, like, take us back to your first year. Now, granted, you had a couple of years, obviously, your journey well documented here. You weren't thrown in 5 minutes after you got out of college. But how long did it take you to feel comfortable going, all right, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, but I can decide quickly that 1 and 2 aren't there and I got to get to 3.
Yeah.
How long did it take you? It takes me forever to get the question out, to speed up the processing.
Again, we got to just look at different individuals as well. Like, that was my greatest strength, Andrew. It was processing, seeing it. But so much of it came back to understanding what we were trying to do as an offense. And so, I always talk about, having your play designer, play caller, seeing the game like you see the game as a quarterback. And so the plays are designed in a manner that fits how you play the game as a quarterback. And so I was fortunate with that, whether that was in college, even playing arena football, and then when I got with Mike Martz, is that those guys understood the game and saw the game and built plays around what I did and how I played. And so that made the process so easy. Like, I would get a play and I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, I get exactly what we're trying to do. Like, you don't even have to teach it to me. I know he's going to want me to go here against cover 2, and this is what he's looking for against man, and this is what we're looking for if we get a corner off. Like, I understood that because, we saw and we spoke the same language. I know that sounds like, oh, well, shouldn't every coach and every quarterback see it and speak the same language? Well, they just don't. So I always use the analogy that you could take 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks and you could put one play up on the board, and you might have one of them that just loves the play, and the next guy's like, I get it. That's okay. I could run it. And then you might have a third that goes, I hate that play. Like, I don't like that play at all. And you're like, how is that possible? That you all do this at an extremely high level and one likes it, because just the way we process information is just different. And so I think a big part of that is always, the quarterback and the play caller or play designer getting on the same page of how they see the game. And so when you have a guy like Shedeur who's, was in a backup role and they're trying to get, Joe Flacco ready and they're trying to get Dylan ready. And now all of a sudden now it's Shedeur's turn. And how does that all fit together in terms of building an offense or building plays that fit the guy that's behind center at that particular time? And so those are all things that I think, you can grow and develop and fine tune now that he's in that spot and they get a chance to work together and maybe shape some things more around what Shedeur likes to do or has done in the past.
Is curious how your transition would have gone if you had a similar setup here with all the rookies. So Dylan Sampson, the rookie running back out of Tennessee, made the point today. And honestly, it didn't even hit us calling the game in the booth that when David Njoku left, he got banged up with a knee on that touchdown catch. Great placement, by the way. Shedeur hitting him in the corner there on that touchdown. But once he left the game, on that final drive in the fourth quarter, you had Jerry Jeudy, and then everybody else was a rookie. Isaiah Bond, Gage Larvidan, Harold Fannin, Dylan Sampson, Quinshon Judkins. Kirk, could you imagine being thrown into that situation as a rookie yourself?
David, the movie.
I will not be afraid.
Yeah, I mean, I think on the outside,